take your string and just place it underneath the yarn. Taking hold of the hook with your right hand, take the string and hold on to it with the hook. Put your right index finger on the slip knot on the hook. Hold the yarn in your left hand through your index finger and middle finger. This will enable you to hold the string secure on the other side of the hook. Dip the hook down in front of the string, underneath it. This will enable you to gather the yarn, bring it through to the front, with your thumb and index finger. You can let go of the string on the other side, hook the yarn through the first loop and then through what was your slip knot to start with. You have now successfully attached your yarn to the string. Starting off is the trickiest bit, but once you get used to it with a bit of practice, you'll be able to do it very quickly. Again, hold on to the yarn between your middle finger and your index finger. Just gently hold the string so you're holding it secure in position. Index finger of the right hand on the hook. Dip the hook down in front of the string, underneath the string, so that the hook can capture the yarn. Dip the hook down behind the string so that you can capture the yarn at the other side. Take hold of the stitches that you've already done with your left hand. You can let go of the string in your right hand so that you can gently pull the hook through one and then through 2 stitches. Keeping the yarn between the index finger and the middle finger and holding onto the string, dip the hook down in front of the string so that the hook will collect the yarn that is behind it. Bring it through to the front, dip down behind the string, capture the yarn from the back and very gently hold on to the stitches with your left hand and pull the yarn through. Continue doing this until you have a length of about 15 centimeters. It can be shorter, it can be longer, but this is a more manageable size to start with. Now we've got to attach the string to the beginning, so we make a circle. Take the first stitch and place it underneath the area where you're working and hold it steady with your right hand. In your left hand, hold the yarn between your index finger and your middle finger. You can see the stitches quite easily here. There are 2 elements to each stitch, 2 strands, as you can see. Now in this technique we're going to use both of those. You can just use one, but that isn't terribly strong when you're trying to construct a sculpture, so I always use 2. Push the hook through the 2, take the yarn around the back of the hook, hold on to the work with your left hand just as you did before, and you pull the yarn through the stitch, through the 2 elements of it, and bring it to the front. You now have 2 loops on your crochet hook. Take the hook down behind the string, pick up the yarn, pull through one, pull through the second one. You've now successfully attached one string to the other. We've now got to look to see where the next stitch should be, and you can see it quite clearly where my finger is pointing. And hold on to the stitch on your hook and gently push your hook through the two elements of this stitch. Take the yarn in your left hand and hold it securely between your index finger and your middle finger. Hold on to the string, dip the hook down to the front, pick up the yarn from behind and pull it through the two elements of the stitch. Dip down the hook behind the string now, pick up the yarn in your hook, pull it through one loop and pull it through the second one. You've now done 2 stitches on the circle. You go into the next stitch, put the hook through 2 elements of it, take the yarn from behind, pull it through to the front, hold on to the 2 stitches on your hook, dip the hook down behind the string, pull it through 1 stitch and then the other. Now when you're doing a circle, you sometimes have to do 2 stitches into 1 stitch, and you do this by just doing the next stitch into the same one as before. You can see the little hole there ready to take the hook. So you push the hook gently through, pull the yarn from behind through the 2 elements of the stitch. You've now got 2 loops on your hook. Secure them with your index finger while you dip the hook down behind the string. Pick up the yarn, pull it through 1 and then 2. Now that the circle is well established, we can start doing another element of the work. We'll start doing chains around, just chains around a string again. So you just dip the hook down in front of the string, pull the yarn through to the front, dip the hook down behind the string, pick up the yarn, pull through 1, pull through 2. We continue doing this until the chain is long enough so that we can attach this new length to the circle and start making it 3-dimensional. We can then start to look at the work and decide which way and where we're going to join it to the rest of the work. So you take your hook out and just have a look and see where would be the right sort of place. There are no rules, you can just choose wherever you want it to go. You might want to make it longer or even shorter. But when you find a suitable place, put your crochet hook back in the stitch and then look for the stitch you're going to put the crochet hook into Gently push it through as we did before. Pull the yarn through. Hold on to the stitches with your index finger. Pull the yarn from behind and then pull it through too. Now we have to secure this, so we'll do a few stitches, and sometimes it's a good idea to turn back on yourself because this actually strengthens the connection. But in this instance, it would be a good opportunity to stitch in the end bits, the end of string that we started with and the end of wool that we started with. So grasping them all together in exactly the same way as you would do just one piece of string, find the stitch that you're going to attach it to, put the hook through, right the way through, get hold of the yarn from behind and gently just ease the yarn through the stitch, the two elements of it. Bring it to the front so that you've got 2 stitches on your hook. Now we're going to go over the back of all these things, all this bunch. You've got 2 pieces of string and a piece of woolen yarn. So you go behind those, you pick up the yarn from behind and very gently pull it through 1 and then pull it through 2. Now in order to conceal the 2 ends, the end of the string and the end of the woolen yarn, we must go around a few more stitches. So into the next stitch, the 2 elements of it, pull the yarn through from behind, dip the hook round the back to pick up the yarn again and through 2. Into the next stitch, the 2 elements of the stitch, push the hook through, pull the yarn from behind, making sure that you've got your little bunch of strings together, pull it through, dip down behind, pick up the yarn and pull it through. Keep on doing this until you're satisfied that you've covered the tail end. It makes it much neater as well. You can see already that it's beginning to become concealed, and it's very difficult to know where you started. You can see the hairy sisal. It's very useful because it actually latches on to the thinner yarn, in this case wool, that we're using to construct the sculpture. All this takes practice, and the more you do, the quicker you will become. And it's up to you where you take it from here. We've now created a 3-dimensional drawing, and we can take it any way we want to. You've got to play with it, play with the technique, enjoy it. There are no rules, you can't do it wrong, because each piece of work that you produce is unique. You don't just have to use string or wool, as we've done in this case. You can use rope, you can use paper yarn, you can use any type of yarn at all. There are all different sizes of crochet hooks. Some are massive, and then others are very, very tiny. There's no reason at all why you shouldn't make some really, really impressive, gigantic sculptures. Any material that you can think of. You could crochet around twigs or any plant in the garden. You could crochet around stones. As I say, the sky is the limit. You take it where you want it to go.